Talk, shop, pop, movies. When I wake up, yeah, you know I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna stream about the films I like to view. And when I go out, yeah, you know I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna shoot a bunch of shelves all filled with blue. And when I come home, yeah, you know I'm gonna geek. I'm gonna geek about award season to you. And I finally hit 500 subs. And I hope to get 500 more. Just to monetize when I hit 1,000 subs and sell some crap in a stupid merch store. Convicted. Convicted. Cinephile, 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 cinephile. Convicted. Convicted. Cinephile, 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 cinephile.
Play the wrong video. I just meant to play my intro and I clicked the wrong one. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, hoy there. It's early still. Well, kind of. It's 8 o'clock, but early enough. Yeah, welcome. Normally I would have done an after show or a more in-depth Oscar analysis from last night. So I figured I'll just do it now while my kid's at school and I got a few hours to bullshit about them. I just want to talk about the actual winners. If you didn't catch my live stream last night, I did a fun game where I had to eat disgusting foods every time I was incorrect, and I got 6 wrong, which is worse than usual. So that's kind of what I was planning, though. I knew I wouldn't do as good as I normally do, so that's why I wanted to make it fun. So thanks, Tim, for being the only one who is here and commenting. But I didn't do this for the views. I did it because it's easier than making a video. But yes, I agree. I love the all quiet, slight overperformance. It made me have to eat gross things 2 times, but it was the best overall batch of winners to me personally in years. Like, this might be my favorite Oscars since like the No Country for Old Men year. Lots of stats were broken last night, which I'm always a fan of. Not as many as last year with the whole Coda thing, but a lot of good stats were broken. And also, yay, Elvis for not winning anything. I can't believe Elvis didn't win anything. Once I lost costume design, I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Anyways, I got my that's not the screen I want. There it is. I'm just gonna do it the little way. Wish I could like have it slightly less huge over my face because it's like whatever. What do you think about Elvis not winning anything? Bubba Hotep, Bruce Campbell, Elvis? Oh, it's really good. All right, that was for you, Tim, because you're the only one here. But yeah, I'm just gonna go over all the categories, and if there's something to talk about, I'll talk about it. First, we have Best International Feature. The nominees were All Quiet on the Western Front, Close, The Quiet Girl, Argentina 1985. I almost said 1974. I don't know why. And EO, the other donkey movie that came out last year. And no surprise with the 9 nominations it had. All Quiet on the Western Front easily won this award. The only thing that sucks about the International Feature Oscar is that it goes to the country and not the filmmaker. So Edward Berger, even though he wrote, produced, and directed the film and won 3 BAFTA awards for it, he didn't technically win any Oscars because he doesn't get this one. So, but I'm happy it won, and it was obvious. There was never been a foreign film nominated for Best Picture that didn't win in this category. The closest thing would be Pan's Labyrinth when it won 3 Oscars and was nominated for 6, but it lost International Feature, but it wasn't nominated for Best Picture, so it still doesn't technically count. It's just the closest example you could come up with. Okay, for Best Documentary Short, we had The Elephant Whisperers. For Best Animated Short, we have The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. And Best Live Action Short, we had The Irish Goodbye. The most impressive thing about these 3 shorts winning is that it's the only time that I can think of that I got all 3 of them right. So I was a happy camper because those are the scary ones, especially when you're playing a game when you have to eat pickled turkey gizzards when you get one wrong, which I don't recommend eating if you haven't, unless you want to play a game like I was last night. And my kid actually drank the juice out of the jar too. So I'll make a little super cut of all my reactions from the live stream, including the gross eating parts, at some point, probably later today. No later than tomorrow, I'm guessing. But yeah, Irish Goodbye sadly was the closest thing that Banshees of Inisherin got to winning last night, which is made me sad because Banshees of Inisherin went 0 for 9, and it was, at least at the moment, after having seen all the Best Picture nominees only one time, my favorite one of all of them. But I wasn't mad with any of the winners, really. So there's only one where I'm like, okay. All the rest of them I was like ecstatic about. All right. Best animated feature was Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Puss in Boots, Turning Red, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, and The Sea Beast. And surprise, surprise, Guillermo del Toro won Best Animated Feature. Cool. Like everyone knew it was going to win. And yeah, Guillermo del Toro has 3 Oscars now, so that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. There's I didn't expect Elvis to be one of the movies to not win anything, but I knew there would be upwards of there was a potential where 7 of the Best Picture nominees were going to win nothing, but that would have been ridiculous. But sadly, Banshees was one of them. Documentary feature, we have Navalny, House Made of Splinters, All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, and Fire of Love. This one made me nervous. I went with Navalny, which did win. House Made of Splinters was like the one no one expected to get nominated, but did. All That Breathes is there because people like it, but it doesn't win stuff, it seems like. It could have easily gone to All the Beauty and the Bloodshed or Fire of Love. Fire of Love won the Directors Guild, I think, and it's on Disney Plus, and everyone likes it who watches it. I haven't seen it yet. But Navalny is apparently a very thrilling movie, and it's relevant. And it also won the Producers Guild and the BAFTA for documentary, so that's why I went with that one. Once it won the BAFTA and Producers Guild, I was like, okay, might as well. Then nothing to say about the movie itself other than I hear it's a legit thriller. Right. Yeah, Living, yeah, that wasn't gonna win anything. At least it was there, right? At least it got nominated for screenplay, unlike The Whale, which should have, and picture. It kinda what won last night sort of proves that The Whale probably should have been in for picture and screenplay. But we'll get to that when we get there. All right, achievement in visual effects, we had Avatar: The Way of Water, All Quiet on the Western Front, Black Panther, The Batman, and Top Gun: Maverick, and obviously Avatar won. There's not much to say about that category. I would have loved if Avatar lost just for the shock of it and how hilarious it would have been. But I don't know what I would have gone to. Like Top Gun doesn't have enough visual effects to win that award. Black Panthers weren't good enough to win. The Batman just probably wouldn't win, but it's awesome. All Quiet would have probably been the next best chance because at least it was a Best Picture nominee. But even some of the visual effects on that weren't the greatest. I remember the fire effects, like with the flamethrowers and stuff, looking really fake, but everything else in the movie looked like perfect. So it was really weird. It stuck out because everything else was so good. But yeah, Avatar winning visual effects, not a shock. Oh yeah, I saw you share that the lead actress who died really young from Triangle of Sadness uh passed away, and I think she died in August, so they should have had her in there, yeah. Because I was like, William Hurt wasn't on there, and then we looked it up, and William Hurt died in March, like a year ago, like yesterday or today or something like that, actually. So it would have been a couple weeks before last year's Oscars, so he would have been on last year's. But yeah, that's weird that they didn't have her in there, considering she's in one of the Best Picture nominees. Yeah, the visual effects are the only thing worth seeing on Avatar, so whatever. I don't like that movie. It sucks. It's not a good movie. I don't get how people think it's good other than it looking pretty, honestly. It's like there's nothing to it other than the visual effects. The visuals in general. All right, original song, we have RRR from or Not To from RRR, excuse me. This is the A Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Hold My Hand by Lady Gaga. Lift Me Up by Rihanna from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and Applause by Diane Warren from Tell It Like a Woman, which nobody's seen, but it got nominated because Diane Warren. RRR, Not To one, which is awesome because it's the only movie that's in, or only song that's in the actual movie and not an end credit song. I despise when end credit songs win uh Oscars, especially ones that aren't that great. And I just want to say that the "This Is a Live" performance was one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. Although I like the song. Yeah, I need to watch the movie still, but it's like 3 hours long, and it's on Netflix though, so I'll watch it. It's fun. There's a couple songs in it. My friend said he actually liked the other song in the movie more while I was watching them with last night. Best achievement in music written for motion pictures original score. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees of Inisherin, and The Fablemans. The Fablemans, no offense to John Williams, shouldn't have been nominated because it only has 20 minutes of original music that you don't really notice in the movie at all. There was a lot of better things like Women Talking or The Batman, which wasn't even shortlisted, or The Whale, that wasn't even shortlisted, and another one I can't think of off the top of my head that was snubbed for score. But yeah, there was good. Oh yeah, Pinocchio was one of them that didn't make it. But I went. This is one I had to eat icky things because I had Babylon winning, which I was like, had I redone my predictions, like if I didn't make that video and like stuck to it, I might have switched to All Quiet, but I don't want to lie and switch to a couple things. Same thing goes for Michelle Yeoh, honestly. So I would have had to eat a couple less gross things, but it would have been less fun for the people watching. So whatever. And that the Babylon score is probably the best one in my opinion. At least it has the most score, which is part of it. But the All Quiet score is amazing, and I love it, and I love All Quiet, so I'm not complaining about that winning. Makeup and hairstyling. Oh, this one made me so happy. So we had the Whale, Black Panther, the Batman, All Quiet, and Elvis. I was predicting Elvis, and I was predicting Austin Butler to win because of stats I'll get into. When the Whale won makeup, I was so happy because I knew Brendan Fraser was going to win actor. And I think it actually All Quiet would have been actually a really good winner here. So would the Batman, but that would have been just for the penguin. And the whale effects are more impressive than the penguin effects, and they're comparable because it's like they're both kind of like fat suit makeup effects. Elvis had good makeup, but I didn't think it was convincing makeup. It had more makeup. It had better hairstyling. I'll give it that. But I thought the makeup looked fake. Like when Austin Butler was like older, chubbier Elvis, I didn't think it looked real at all, personally. But the whale makeup actually looks real. Like it's impressive. So it deserved to win, and I'm so happy it did. Chat with Tim over here because he's the only one here. Overall, I like the song performances. I like it. I think they just need to incorporate. Like I was talking to him about this earlier. They need to incorporate the song performances into the show as opposed to making them their own thing. Like they could have had Rihanna sing her song over the In Memoriam because that's what it's about essentially. Because it's for Chadwick Boseman who passed away. So it relates to that. They could open the show with "Not to Not to" because it's a big happy fun song. They've done that before. They played "I'm Happy" to open the show whenever that song was nominated a few years ago. So they did a good job on that before. They have done like a best song medley, I remember, and that was really weird when it was the song from Wally and the two songs from Slumdog Millionaire. They just like did it all at once, which works too. And I missed the score thing. 14 right, yeah. I only got 16 right, which is bad for me. Last year I got 22 out of 23, but that's because last year was the easiest year ever. Let's move on here. I don't want to plan on this to take it forever. So we got the best sound. Top Gun Maverick, Avatar, The Batman, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Elvis. This is the one thing I predicted Top Gun to win, and I was right. Yay, Top Gun, it won something. Although if All Quiet would have won instead, I wouldn't have minded. But Top Gun gets something, so people who love Top Gun can be happy. I like the movie. It deserves it. I'm not complaining. Costume design. This is one that actually surprised me. I'll be honest. We have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, Babylon, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was going for Elvis. I thought this would be like the one thing Elvis would get for sure. And Babylon is good, but it wasn't nominated for Best Picture. Everything Everywhere I could see sneaking in and winning because it won at the Costume Guild Awards over Black Panther. But and the first Black Panther already won, so it's kind of weird. Like it doesn't need to win again. Not really. But it did, and good for Ruthie Carter. The costumes are great in that movie. It just makes me wish that more Marvel movies would get recognized for their costumes or superhero movies in general, because I think that's a very underrated aspect of those movies is how well they translate the costumes from the page to the screen without making them look goofy. Like, it's hard to make Captain America not look laughable in a movie, but they've pulled it off several times. So they need to appreciate that more. Like, Avengers Endgame could have been nominated for costumes for having every character in it. It would have been amazing. But alas, that never happened. But good for Black Panther. It won something. Yeah, once Elvis lost costumes, I was like, Elvis is gonna get goose egged. Holy shit. And I thought that was hilarious. Achievement in production design. All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Fablemans, Avatar, and Elvis. Another one where I was wrong, but I wasn't mad about it. I honestly believe that Babylon deserved to win this, and that's what I was going for. And it's won every production design award essentially under the sun up until this point, because it was sweeping in production design, but losing here and there in score. So I was like 50-50 on score, but I was pretty sure the Babylon was going to win production design. But alas, it also went to All Quiet on the Western Front. And I'm not mad about it because I love that movie. It ended up with 4 Oscars, the second most of the evening. No complaints here. But I kind of feel bad because Babylon did deserve something, and I think that was the best thing about it was the art direction. But I'm kind of I'm proud of the Academy for not just picking the um, old Hollywood movie like they usually do. Usually it's like the yay Hollywood type of movies that win. So it's cool that they went for the gritty World War One movie. Okay, that's what it's time for. Well, I'll see you, Tim. Have fun at work. I won't be doing this too long. Oh, you didn't like the EAAO? I like it. It's not my favorite, but I appreciate it quite a bit. Thanks for being here, though. Terencia. I like your name. It's pretty. But yeah, I enjoy the movie. It's cool. It's weird, and it's a sweet story about the family. I enjoy that. But like I said, it's not my favorite movie. Best editing we have film editing. Excuse me. Well, I guess there's only one editing category anymore, so whatever. They don't have sound editing anymore. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees of Inisherin, Tar, Elvis, and Top Gun. Top Gun had a chance here, but once Everything Everywhere won at the BAFTAs and nothing else, I was absolutely sure it was going to be winning at the Oscars too. And it also won at the Ace Eddie Awards, making it the only Best Picture winner, now that it's won, to have won PGA, DGA, SAG, Writers Guild, and Editing Guild. It's the only movie ever to win all 5 of those, and then some, and then won Best Picture. So good for it. Whether or not it's my favorite, it's cool. Achievement in cinematography: All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. My predicted winner was the winner, which is All Quiet on the Western Front. Top Gun should have been nominated. The Batman should have been nominated. But either way, All Quiet on the Western Front would have been my personal favorite of all of them, and I'm super happy it won. It was the one thing I knew I picked it to win besides international film. So when it won 2 extra awards, I was very happy. For anyone there who hasn't watched All Quiet, do that. It's fantastic. Adapted screenplay: we had Women Talking, Glass Onion, Top Gun Maverick, All Quiet, and Living. I was worried, not in like in a bad way, that only for a being wrong way, that All Quiet was going to win because it won at the BAFTA. Excuse me, coffee's coming up. There we go. All Quiet on the Western Front was going to win because it won at the BAFTA, and it was like this sneaky second place movie, which proved itself last night for being the second highest win numbers. But once Women Talking squeaked its way into Best Picture, I was like, okay, it's probably going to happen, and Sarah Pauli's going to win for the screenplay, which is a great screenplay. I finally watched the movie days ago before when it came out on Blu-ray, and it was really good. It's more of a play than a movie, but it's a damn well written and acted play. So nothing wrong with the screenplay. But if All Quiet would have won, I wouldn't have been mad, and then it would have made the Best Picture race a little bit suspenseful because had it won screenplay, it would have made it shakier. But we all knew Everything Everywhere was going to win anyways. Original screenplay: we had Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, Banshees of Inisherin, and Triangle of Sadness. I wanted Banshees to win this. I personally would vote for Banshees to win this, but I wasn't against All Quiet. Everything Everywhere winning, and I knew it would at this point after it won the Writers Guild and essentially everything else it could possibly win, and just how it was steamrolling through all the guilds. It seemed pretty obvious at this point that it would win. But it just sucks that Banshees didn't win anything. I think Banshees is the better written screenplay. Everything Everywhere is the more original screenplay, and that's just what they went for this year. Achievement in directing, we have the Daniels for Everything Everywhere, Ruben Ostlund for Triangle of Sadness, Todd Field for Tar, Martin McDonough for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Senior Spielbergo for The Fablemans. And yeah, once they won DGA, it was obvious that the Daniels were going to win this, and they did. And cool, now they have 3 Oscars. Good for them. Okay, that's all I'll say. It was obvious. I was right. Hurrah. Okay, here's an interesting one. Best Actress in a Supporting Role, we have Jamie Lee Curtis, Angela Bassett, Hong Chow, Carrie Condon, and Stephanie Hsu. If anyone could have won this category, and I would have been happy with it. So either way, I was predicting Carrie Condon because she won the BAFTA, and she wasn't splitting votes with any other nominees, and I thought she would be the thing that Banshees would end up winning. And I think for the last 9 years, not including this year, the 9 years prior, the movie that or whatever won supporting actress, that was the only win for that movie. So it's like a weird trend, which is now broken. So there's a thing. And yeah, so there goes a 9-year streak. But Jamie Lee Curtis, after winning SAG, she ended up winning. Would I have voted for her? No. I would have voted for either Carrie Condon, Hong Chow, or Stephanie Hsu personally. Um, but I'm not mad with Jamie Lee Curtis. It's going to be one of those things where, like, in 20 years, they're going to look back, be like, Jamie Lee Curtis won for that. Be like, oh, cool. Because Jamie Lee Curtis is awesome and she has an Oscar now. No one's angry about her having an Oscar. The performance itself is kind of funny that she won for, but I liked it a lot. I liked her in it, but it's just not a thing I would vote for based on performance. But I love Jamie Lee Curtis, so I'm not mad. Like I said, no matter what won that thing. And what did I have to eat? She was the first thing I got wrong. Oh, I drank liquid smoke when she won because I was predicting Carrie Condon, and that was far and away the worst gross thing I ate last night. And my hands still smell like it today. Like I said, you can go catch the replay of that if you want to sit through all of the Oscars and me eating gross stuff. But I will, at some point soon, do a supercut of all the winners and my reactions and the me eating gross stuff parts, which it was fun. My kid really enjoyed it. And he even tried a couple of them too. And he's only 5, so he's a trooper. Best performance by an actor in a supporting role: Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere, Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan for Banshees, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, and Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans. This was Ke Huy Quan's from day one. He's won over 50 awards for this performance. I saw. That's ridiculous. uh, but yeah, the only thing he lost essentially was the BAFTA to Barry Keoghan, and he had no chance of winning an Oscar for that. I don't think. As much as I love the movie, I would have voted for Ke Huy Quan as well. Best performance by an actress in a leading role, we had Michelle Yeoh, Andrea Riseborough, Michelle Williams, Ana de Armas, and Kate Blanchett. Um, I predicted Kate Blanchett. Had I switched, I would have switched to Michelle Yeoh had I not made my prediction video. I didn't want to switch it at the last second to be cop out, because I'm always like, I'd rather be wrong and happy than switch and then be wrong and be pissed off. So I am ecstatic that Michelle Yeoh won. She's awesome. Kate Blanchett didn't need a third Oscar. I don't like Tar very much. She's very good in the movie, but Michelle Yeoh deserves recognition for how great she has always been. And this was like the perfect movie for her to show every little thing she can do. So that was awesome. And she's the second person of color to win leading actress in 95 years, which is weird and sad. And the first Asian actress to win. So that's awesome. There's nothing to be sad about there. And best actress, best picture match doesn't happen that often. So that's cool. It happened with Nomadland. And then I think before that, it was Million Dollar Baby. So it doesn't happen very often. And oh yeah, and now we have 3 acting winners from the same film, which hasn't happened since, I believe, Network in 1976. So it's been almost 50 years since a film has won 3 acting awards. That is crazy. For this to be the one to do it is just ridiculous in a both awesome and weird way, just like the movie is, I guess. So it's fitting. And then up here we have Best Actor in a Leading Role: Brendan Fraser, Austin Butler for Elvis, Brendan Fraser for The Whale. Not like you don't know, but sorry. Bill Nye for Living, Colin Farrell for Banshees, Paul Mescal for Aftersun. I would have been more than happy if Colin Farrell won this award. I'm not an Elvis fan, but Austin Butler was great in the movie. I really did not want him to win for it, though. I was ecstatic when Brendan Fraser won. Once it won makeup, like I said, I knew he was going to win. I was predicting Austin Butler to go Elvis makeup and actor. It ended up going The Whale, which was my preferred thing. So I believe I drank some ham glaze in honor of Brendan Fraser and Michelle Yeoh's wins back to back, and I was a big fan. I had to punish myself for not going with my boy Brendan, who I always wanted to win. And I really like The Whale. I'm excited to buy that. Comes out on Blu-ray on the 14th. I will be getting that. For as powerfully sad as a movie as it is, I really want to watch it again for some reason. But he's so amazing and I love him. And this was the most adorable pair of actor winners in the history of the Oscars. That's what I was hoping for. Most adorable acting winners ever. And honestly, you could say all four of them are, considering who won all of them. It's the Encino Man boys. Two people from Encino Man won Oscars last night. And all four of them, you could argue, are comeback / career narrative wins, but that's a cool thing this time around because they actually deserved it. A lot of times when there's a career win, it's like, oh yeah, that guy, I guess. Like Jack Palance for City Slickers. As much as I love him in that movie, that's what that was, things like that. But these are all actors who have been working, or at least trying to work, for 30 years or more, or have had falling out and comebacks and here and there, or just been consistent like Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis, but never really being recognized for it too much. And they won. And so, yeah. And they're all A24 winners. So A24 had a good night. I think they won 9 Oscars last night. Good for them. But yeah, Brendan Fraser for The Whale. And also, he's the first Best Actor winner to not have his film nominated for Best Picture since Jeff Bridges in 2010 for Crazy Heart. And that was a stat that was waiting to be broken, and they picked the right time to do it. I'll just say that. It shouldn't matter. If the performance is the best, vote for the performance. It doesn't matter if it's nominated for Best Picture. And with that, Elvis didn't win anything. And here we have Motion Picture of the Year, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Avatar: The Way of Water, Banshees of Inisherin, Top Gun: Maverick, Tar, All Quiet on the Western Front, Elvis, Fabelmans, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. And of course, after everything I've gone over, Everything Everywhere All at Once was the winner. It won 7 Oscars, which is the most awards any movie has won. It's the most Oscars a Best Picture winner has won since the preferential ballot started in 2009 with the Hurt Locker year, and that won 6, and that was the previous record. And it's tied the most wins for any movie since the preferential ballot, because Gravity also won 7 Oscars, but it did not win Best Picture. It won Director and then 6 other tech awards, deservedly so. And that should have won Best Picture, in my opinion. So lots of weird little stats that were broken last night. I was a fan. I'm going to remove that. Now, I don't want to make this video too long because I want to actually get started on that super cut of my reactions. I just wanted to do this live to get my thoughts out as I read them and not have to edit stuff, basically, and make it a short enough runtime that people could actually watch it. So here we go. I'll do my little intro at the end. So, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.